It's Ehizoje, everyone's favorite Nigerian.
This that real life shit, nigga.
All right, y'all. It's that time of the episode. If you've been tapping in this year, you know I do this every episode. I just want to keep y'all informed on what's happening in our country. So this is called, did Trump do that? You know the answer every time is yes, that motherfucker did. So, I've been talking about tariffs all year. I've been telling y'all what's going to happen all year. I said, hey, he's going to enact tariffs and shit's going to go to hell. And what did he do? He enacted tariffs. And where'd shit go?
That motherfucker's going to hell.
$10 trillion of wealth lost within a week, right? Off of baseless economic formula. Like, they got the formula wrong. First off, I don't know if you guys seen that.
I actually saw a TikTok on the formula, and they make it look very advanced, but it's super simple though.
Yeah, it's super simple.
Basically, just
and they fucked up on one of the variables.
Okay.
So like something that was supposed to like cancel out, like it was like 1 and 0.25 that was multiplied at the, or 4 and 0.25 that was multiplied on the bottom. Mm-hmm. That made 1. It actually was supposed to be 4 times 1. So everything was increased 4 times more than it should have been.
Got you.
Which is really what fucked the economy up. He ended up putting a pause on it, but he still has 10% tariffs across the board. There's a little bit of a resurgence like the next trading day, but this is how I look at it. Because in the market, you don't just lose money. There's somebody on the other side of that bet like gaining money. Right. It's not $10 trillion of wealth lost. It's $10 trillion of wealth transferred. Somebody has to win. And then when he's letting you know, hey, this is a good time to buy, and then he pauses the tariffs and shit goes back up, guess what? They just won again. It's just market manipulation. Like they're playing in our face at this point, right? And it's a shame that it's come to this point, but they're gonna continue to do it. We're gonna see it happen again.
Where you
in 90
see this
days.
shit going though?
Just tariffs or the economy in general?
The economy in general.
We're probably going to hit a recession, not even just because of tariffs, but a lot of the other policies that Trump is enacting is very highly inflationary. And when you have inflation, then the feds can't lower rates, right? So you're going to have higher prices, you're going to have less jobs, less people are going to spend money, which means more businesses are going to lose money, which means more people are going to get fired. And we're going to end up in a place where the economy kind of stalls, and they kind of call that like stagflation, right? And that's something you don't want, right? So this next year is going to be pretty tough. Hopefully, even though he did like a pause on tariffs, like the damage is already done. Like, there's no going back. You can't take back like all the money that people lost, right? Because even on the gains, you're gaining on something that's less valuable. So. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, man.
You know, what's funny with your recession point is that in the Biden administration, we had 2 quarters of negative GDP, but they refused to announce that there was actually a recession. Yeah. So you think in this administration that will change? You think if we actually have those 2 quarters, they're actually going to announce that? Or they're just going to redefine the definition of it and just keep it moving?
I don't know, but you can't hide from economists. Like, they're all outside right now, right? And you can't find a single professional economist that is like, yo, this was a good plan. This is going to work. Everybody, no matter if they're American, British, Chinese, they're all coming out like, yo, we don't know what these niggas are doing.
Like every economist in the world right now is in agreement that we're basically just putting a gun to our head and just shooting that shit for no reason.
That's
like the equivalent to like what
Luca trade. This is the Luca trade,
basically.
Because
actually, you was asking for an example earlier. Like, this is the example actually.
Damn.
Because not a single person was like, "Yo, this is a good trade for the Mavs," right? Like nobody is like, "Oh yeah, America." We could see what they're doing. Like the only person who's really gonna like,
what did he thought? What did he think he was doing? What did Trump?
Well, he was bad for the economy his first term. So it's not really a surprise that he's doing much of the same this second time around. And then with Project 2025 and everything that he listed out, he's basically been following it down to the T. So it's like, it's not really a surprise.
I think it's a combination of him not really understanding economics, right? Like he's been on record saying that he idolizes certain people in American history, and those people were also bad for the American economy.
Yeah.
Right. So like the last time that we had high tariffs, it put us in the Great Depression, or it helped accelerate the Great Depression.
Sheesh.
And the tariffs that Trump enacted are higher than those tariffs. So it's like, why history repeats itself, but why would you want to repeat that history? You feel me?
Right.
And we don't really have we can't make a lot of things that he's putting tariffs on. So those companies, those businesses will never come to the United States.
They're not coming back. And that's another thing with his base talking about we need all these jobs to come back and open up the factories. They are never coming back, bro.
And even if they did, y'all are not going to be sitting in a plastics warehouse. Y'all not going to be putting these fabrics together. Y'all not going to be out here making shoes, bro.
That's why I hate the pump faking, bro.
Want to do it.
They don't want to go in the fields and pick all the crops. Like, bro, nah, bro. I hate the pump faking from that side, bro.
If Apple comes over here and start making iPhones over here, guess what's going to happen? Machines are going to automate everything, and you're still not going to have the jobs.
And shit, we wouldn't even be able to afford it. It's at $2 now for an iPhone. Like, imagine what it's going to be then if they have to move all their factories from
better get your credit up.
China, India, wherever it's at now, back to you.
Better get your credit up.
So, and to your point earlier, too, about the market manipulation, I don't know if you saw, there was like a hoax news article that came out, too, after, I think it was just talking about how they announced that there was going to be a pause, that 90-day pause on the tariffs. But then there was also just like a separate like hoax news article that manipulated the market more. So when it opened, the market dropped like significantly. And then that article came out and it shot back up. And then once it got debunked, it just went back down. Like it's crazy.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about before the pause, they had mentioned that this was all going to be like a negotiating ploy. And that there was consumer confidence that made the market kind of inflate for a little bit. And before the end of the day, it was like, no, actually, it's not just negotiations. It should just dropped again.
Shit, crazy, bro.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
The rich getting richer out here.
We'll see what happens. Real quick, also, I don't know if you guys saw, RFK mentioned that he's going to somehow find the cause to autism by September.
This nigga bugging,
in 5 months.
Bugging, bro.
Not sure where that's going to go, but that is this week's episode.
Said that?
RFK Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
How old is that nigga?
Our Secretary of...
I mean, he looks 80-something, but he might be in his 60s. I don't know, man. White people be aging a little different.
His voice sounds crazy, too.
Yeah, he had worms in his brains, everything. He's supposed to be
that's what the fuck is going on right now. Yeah. Talking about he gonna find it.
Like I said, to pump vitamin C into you instead of taking the vaccine for measles to
that
just
nigga Trump
boost yourself with vitamin C.
Playing with the book, playing with the employees.
Crazy.
That nigga in there treating this shit like a video game.
This shit's a joke. This whole administration.
You gotta hit this real life shit. What is he doing?
Shit's sad,
it's
bro.
It's that real life shit, nigga.
Shit's sad.
That was this week's episode of Did Trump Do That? And you know the answer is always.
He sure did.
Yes, that motherfucker did.